Peaks of Health Metabolic Medical Center was established to address the underlying cause of a disease. And today, Dr. Tracy Lenhart joins us to discuss fatigue and how they can help. Good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I love that we're diving into this topic of fatigue this morning. I think so many of us, number one, go, okay, how do we know if we're really suffering from fatigue? Because so many of us feel tired a lot. Do you see this in your office a lot?
This is probably my number one complaint that comes into the office, is I'm tired and my doctor tells me everything's okay.
Okay, so then what do you do then?
Well, we look a little bit deeper into the system. You know, we start finding out when they started becoming fatigued, what might have started it, what their diet is like, because again, if you're putting the wrong fuel in your body, you're not going to make energy properly. Are they sleeping well enough? You know, because if you're not sleeping, you're not restoring your body. And what's going on? So we start then looking at thyroid. We'll look at, you know, whether they may be toxic in their environment, whether their diet is correct. We'll look at, you know, vitamin D. That's a level that's very low in a lot of people, and that alone can cause fatigue.
Wow.
Iron levels, hormones, their adrenal glands, you know, so there's a lot to it, but we keep on digging until we can find out why their body's not making energy.
That's what I love about your team, is that your mission really is to find out what is causing these different ailments that are people having, and not just putting, you know, per se a Band-Aid on it, correct?
Exactly. And we've had people who've been fatigued for 10, 15, 20 years, you know, and it's just amazing. And that's something that's happening more and more. I mean, we're getting young kids that are very tired. They're getting infections they don't know about. We just had a young kid that dropped out of college, and he had Epstein-Barr virus. Nobody even looked for it.
Wow.
And that was what was causing his fatigue.
So how do you know when it's an issue, when fatigue is really a problem? Because again, as I said, I think a lot of us feel tired. I'm a mom with two young ones at home. How do you know when it really is a problem that should be looked at?
If it's consistent.
Okay.
If you're tired over 2 to 3 months, you know, it's not just I went out last night and I, you know, stayed up too late and I'm better in a couple of days. That's fine. Your body's restoring itself. But if it's consistent, you know, even a mom, you know, lots of times we're not taking care of ourselves. We are not eating properly. We are not exercising properly. You know, one of the things I do, you know, I kind of cheat the system a little bit because my schedule is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I can't keep up with what the requirements my body requires to keep the energy levels up. So I actually get IV therapy every 2 weeks to give myself enough nutrients to keep my body going.
Well, and we talk about fatigue, from what I understand too. If you are not getting enough sleep, or if you are tired, I mean, that can cause major medical issues and symptoms if you're suffering from fatigue, correct?
It can, and it can be something simple. It can be a low level of iron. It can be, you know, magnesium we were talking about earlier. That is one of the top nutrients that turns sugar into energy. And 80% of the American population is low in magnesium. And two things that cause magnesium to drop: carbohydrate eating and stress. Who doesn't do that?
I know, right?
I mean, when we're stressed, we eat carbs.
Yeah. Well, if someone is watching this morning and they go, oh, that's me, I need help, which I think a lot of people are, what would you have them do? What is the first step?
Well, we usually have them call the office.
Okay.
Most
do they need a referral?
No.
Okay.
No. And then usually what we'll do is a courtesy 15-minute consult. And what we do with that is I find out their history. I found out what we need to test. So I can direct their testing specifically for them, because this is individualized care. This isn't a catch-all for everybody.
I was just going to ask what the response is, because I bet you have people coming into your office that are so thankful that someone is finally kind of digging into what's going on and maybe looking at years past and they've been eating and taking. You're looking at them as a whole.
You do. You have to look at that patient as that individual, what's going on in their life, what their experiences have been, in order to probably get to the bottom of what's going on.
Well, we talked about fatigue this morning. What are other issues that you see kind of pop up in your office before we close that you can help people with?
We see a lot of autoimmune disorder. We treat a lot of diabetes and thyroid disease. I do a lot of bioidentical hormone replacement. And then we get into some of the more, you know, complicated cases. You know, we do a lot of infectious disease, Lyme disease. We have a lot of autoimmune neurologicals like multiple sclerosis. So it's varied. It's just kind of, you know, each patient teaches me something new. You know, especially the more complicated cases.
Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. We look forward to having you back, because again, we just kind of scratched the surface on what you're able to help people with. So we look forward to having you back.
Well, thank you.
There is the information again to contact them. She said give them a call. They can really figure out maybe what is going on, and then we'll also put the website on our website, tvmorningblend.com.